Welcome to another episode of the Market Makers in Middle East and Africa podcast. I am your host, Abrar Hussain. Today, I speak to Dr. Nejib Ben Khedher, head of Emirates Skywards. Dr. Najib, welcome to the podcast.
Thank you, Abrar, for the invitation.
Yeah. Dr. Najib, a very successful career of many decades, a lot of transformation, airlines, aviation, and now running one of the most successful loyalty program across the world. Tell us about your story.
Well, thank you, Abrar, for giving me this opportunity to talk a little bit about my story, and hopefully then we'll just move very quickly to talking about Skywards, which is really my passion today. So I'm an industry veteran, as you mentioned, 30 plus years now. I stopped counting in the aviation industry. But when it comes to loyalty, I'm actually a rookie. So I don't know if you've read Liz Wiseman's book, Rookie Smart, but that comes with some challenges, but also some benefits. Well, first of all, I mean, it forced me to listen to my team. Around me, I'm blessed to have a number of loyalty experts. A number of my direct reports have actually more than 20 years of experience in the field. But it's at the same time, it helped me look at things from a different angle with a different prism as well. I've been on the technology side of things. I've run a software delivery organization globally. I've run a consulting practice. I've run also Travelocity in the US, which is an online travel agency. The common thread is transformation. And when I took on this job in late 2015. Really, for me, it was looking at it, as I said, with a different angle and seeing how we can, in this data and digital age, transform the loyalty program to, like I tell my team, harness the data that we have to effectively engage with our customer in the digital age. So if you look at loyalty today in this age, it's at the intersection of data, digital, and customer. Three areas that I'm truly passionate about. So for me, find a good job where you have the confluence of all of these areas that I'm passionate about was really a dream come true in some way.
Perfect. Now, Emirates Skywards. Tell us about, a bit more about the program, the numbers, the scale, because it's one of the most successful. So we want to hear from you and how you managed to scale it up.
So the growth of Skywards have been phenomenal in the past few years. So as I said, I came on board late 2015. If I look at the numbers from 2016 and today, we've tripled the customer base. So we took it to exceed now 30 million. We're actually now hovering around 34, 35 million members worldwide. We also doubled the number of partner transactions in the program since 2016. Tripled actually the number of partner transactions and doubled the number of earn and burn transactions as well. A couple of, these are indications on not only growing the member base, but also engaging the member base and getting them to be more and more active. We're international and a global loyalty program. At the image of the airline itself, again, the largest international carrier in the world, operating out of one of the busiest airports in the world and the largest international airport in the world as well, in a city that now is attracting visitors and residents as well. So we're kind of blessed to operate in support of an airline which is which has the brand that Emirates has, one of the most airline reputable brands of the world and one of the most reputable consumer brand in the Middle East as well. So this all helped us grow and grow faster. But if I look at the ingredients that we have used for us to grow at this scale, again, double-digit growth in terms of member base and double-digit in terms of active members, and the focus, by the way, now is on activating members. Actually, we're growing at twice the pace of growth in terms of active members is twice as much as it is for the member base. So that's our big focus today. But if you look at it, really what we've done is we looked at what I call the loyalty flywheel, which is you earn, you engage, you redeem, and we made it spin faster and faster. by doing a couple of things. One, we ensured that people can earn easily miles, not only by flying, because we have a lot of also infrequent travelers, but how do we engage with people nearly on a daily basis so that they can earn miles? But also we made rewards, we democratized the rewards as well and made rewards accessible from the first mile you earn. So by creating these opportunities in terms of earning and opportunities in terms of rewards and redemption of miles, we've created this possibility for us to engage people much more frequently. And we have grown to the numbers that I've just mentioned earlier.
Perfect. I mean, it's a impressive growth and a very large base of customer, like 34 million is really impressive. Dr. Najib, loyalty programs, how does it help the brand loyalty and customer retention? So how it has helped Emirates and how it can help other organizations once they have a successful loyalty program?
Of course, as I mentioned earlier, we're blessed to work or to be the loyalty program of Emirates, and by the way, and Fly Dubai as well. Very reputable brands in their domain as well. Our job is to amplify the proposition that Emirates has in place. I mean, if you look at Emirates stands for today, and it's our motto, sometimes it's flying better, right? Like this is what we do as an airline. From a Skywards perspective, when I talk about amplifying, when I talk about us being much more of a lifestyle program than just a frequent flyer program, it's taking that fly better to travel better to live better. So we're basically taking the same proposition but trying to amplify it as well, and this is what we are doing as a loyalty program. I mean, the other component is to really create an emotional connection with the brand itself. Of course, again, the experience of traveling on Emirates itself creates that stickiness and creates that emotional connection. But again, we try to amplify it. I give an example, working with partners and leveraging some of the sponsorship assets we have. We have launched a platform called Skywards Exclusives, where basically we have curated experiences that are put in front of our members, mostly our premium members, where they can use their miles, they can bid their miles, they can use their miles for money can't buy type events. Just right now, as we speak, actually, we have an experience in France with Moet Chandon in the Champagne region. Where we have 7 couples, mostly gold and platinum members, spending 4 days in the region, with again a partner of ours on wine tasting and etc. We had an experience last year in Sri Lanka with Dilma Tea, which is one of the partners we have. We served Dilma Tea on board, and it was a retreat in Sri Lanka to know more about tea. Again, and this fine brand of tea as well. So, believe it or not, we have members that are bidding between 250 and 500,000 miles for these type of experiences. Wow. But more than the miles and the miles utility itself, it's that connection they have now with the brand. It's that emotional, connection that is driven by, living through experiences like this. Again, money can't buy experiences, and we now have more and more of these experiences that we're curating, working with some of the sponsorship assets we have as Emirates, but also with partners as well to provide our members with things that are beyond flying, beyond the usual rewards, flight rewards, upgrades, etc., that people are seeking, and getting them to live through some of these experiences.
Mm-hmm. I mean, very interesting, Dr. Najib. And this brings to my next question, where we see a lot of change in the mindset of customers, what they expect from loyalty brands or from the brands. How do you see the future of loyalty programs, and how do you see Emirates Skywards kind of playing into that?
I mean, everybody talks about Gen Z, Gen Y. These are the customers that we are going to be facing in the near future.
Yeah.
If not, we're facing already. They are very fickle, very difficult to win their loyalty. They want instant gratification. They want to be recognized very quickly. They have aspirations, they have expectations, and they're impatient around getting these. So we try to cater to them as well. When I talk about what I call the micro earning, micro redemption opportunities, these are opportunities where you get gratified through everyday life. We have a platform called Skywards Every Day where we work with a number of retailers, and basically you walk into a Costa coffee shop, you get your coffee, you get miles instantly through a seamless experience. And by the way, that's the other piece as well, is making things as seamless and as simple as possible. You basically link your credit cards that you're swiping into the app once, and then whenever you walk into these retail partners, you swipe your card and you basically instantly see the miles that you're earning. So these type of engagements that are created keep us top of mind with, again, the new generation, digital native generation as well. But fundamentally, I think the one thing that we heard our customers say is, and we're trying to just try to see how technology can help us do, and this is actually in the near future for us. We're working on something around this. It's unbundling benefits. So as airlines, we've always operated in this tier structure. Your blue, silver, gold, platinums. You unlock benefits as you fly more, as you interact more with us, and you know what to expect. Now, what our customers are saying is, yes, I am a platinum member, and I love to get to the first class lounge here. But when I'm flying with the family, what matters to me is to have my family members come with me. When I'm flying with friends, it's important for me to get them to the lounge with me. In some cases, I'm flying most of the time business. I don't need a baggage allowance. You're giving me a baggage allowance that I don't use. But you know what? Once a year, when especially for a lot of the expats, they're traveling out of Dubai, for example, they would like to have a baggage allowance that's much bigger. So they're saying, can I? So having something that is like a menu that you can choose from is something that is difficult, by the way, to put in place, or actually even to put in operations. But it's something that we're looking at as well. So this unbundling of benefits, or giving benefits a la carte, is something that we're looking at.
Perfect. Now, you mentioned about the mobile app and some of the technology. If we can dig a bit deeper, how you are using technology to enhance customer experience, to make Skywards better. So if you can talk about the role of tech.
Yeah, so I mean, by definition, as I said, really, or if you look at all these enhancements, the program, I've talked about data, I've talked about digital engagement. These are, it cannot be done without leveraging an underlying technology that is very solid. Also, the fact that we have moved into an era where, as I said, you swipe your card, you earn miles. We're moved away from having so many transactions just because you're flying to nearly having day-to-day transactions. So the technology needs to be robust enough to handle these millions and millions of transactions. Just to give you an idea, per hour we have 8 million miles that are earned per hour.
Wow.
We're adding 8 members every minute.
Wow.
So you've got to have the technology that can support, and the infrastructure that can support this. So from a B2C standpoint, engaging with customers, obviously you need to get the right technology, whether it is your website working very well, but and being reliable, but also an app like the Skywards Everyday app I talked about, or the Emirates app to allow you to engage with your customers. There's a piece of technology that sometimes we don't talk about because it's behind the scenes and it's not something visible to the customers that I really want to talk about. It as our currency becomes more and more of higher utility to people, with hundreds of partners out there, you can earn and burn on. That currency needs to be protected as well. So fraud protection is extremely important, and you cannot do it after the fact. You have to do it preventively. So I have a team that is dedicated to really, doing all the work preventively. Of course, helped with very sophisticated technology that can look at transactions that are happening real time and being able to block certain transactions as well to protect, obviously, our customer and our customer base as well from fraud. Now, this is something that, again, it's behind the scenes. The members don't see, but it is one of the most sophisticated things that we have put in place, and we have really created a forensic team that just looks at these type of transactions. Obviously, helped again with tools, and I'm sure you're going to ask me about AI at some point. But AI also helps with this type of activities, just monitoring, how people are logging in, from what channels, through what devices, from where, understanding the member profile, to see whether, all these elements also coincide or are aligned with what you expect from X, Y, and Z member who's, I think based in the US or UK or elsewhere. So that's an important use of technology above and beyond all what you expect a B2C business like ours to go to.
I mean, there's a very interesting thing, Dr. Najib, that in your team, in loyalty, you have a team which kind of does preventive fraud detection and management. I think that's really very impressive, and it shows how you take care of the customer trust and build on that trust. Yeah.
Yeah.
Perfect. I mean, very, very interesting, and thank you.
We want to take
sharing.
the anxiety away from our customers. We want them to feel safe, and obviously loyalty is built on trust and that safety. And if we're asking the customer to share more data so that we can serve them better, on the flip side, we need to be able to, of course, leverage the data that they're using us to provide them with relevant offers and etc. But at the same time, we need to be protecting their data in the best way possible and protecting the miles they're earning also in the best way possible. So this is something extremely important for us, and a big focus and a big investment from our side as well, working with technology partners to do so.
Perfect. Now, you mentioned about AI and the how you use technology. How do you use data to improve customer experience and to make decisions? As you mentioned that, look, the customer behavior is changing. They want to have kind of a la carte kind of facilities. So how do you use it, and what kind of, how you kind of make sense of it?
Yeah, so when it comes to leveraging data, as I said, it's one of my passions. I have 3: data, digital, and customer. So this one is around data. Data science helps us with predictive modeling as well. We can actually look at member behavior and understand whether they're churning, not churning, etc., and push the right offers to them. So to make it simple, the data helps us put the right offers in front of the right member at the right time in the right channel, because we engage with partners across number of channels, whether physical channels, in touch points during their journey, or digital channels like the website or the app as well. But pushing the right offer at the right time, is again, and not overwhelming members by offers, being much more smart around it. I'm not going to use the word hyper-personalization because I want to stay away from that. For me, it's personalization with purpose. It's truly being able to engage with members, knowing who they are, how they interacted with us in the past, and having on the other side our offer catalog and pushing the right things to them at the right time. I'll give you a number which is in one of the areas that we manage and where we have excelled, I would say, in personalization, is miles retailing. Miles retailing is a sale of miles. So a lot of members just buy miles so that they can increase their miles wealth somewhat to be able to take an upgrade on an next flight, etc. By using data properly and pushing the right offers to members, we have multiplied by 7 in 7 years. So this number is 2023 versus 2016, multiplied by 7. Wow. The miles that have been bought by members or exchanged by members. So that is all due to personalization. And we've seen the tick as we became more and more sophisticated in the way we approach our members. AI helps us also understand when members interact with them. Just taking again the case of miles retailing, they can interact with you. For example, you put an offer, like to sell a mile, for example, at a certain price. It actually helps you be extremely dynamic and understanding exactly what is that right cost to the member that you need to put in, to the right price that you put in as well. So that's what we're doing with it. We have something similar that we're very proud of, and we've been the first airline to do so. It's something that I kind of brought with me from my days when I ran an online travel agency, Travelocity in the US. And this is called precision retailing, and we do it in path. So when somebody comes to the website and logs in, we basically put an offer on and we know what they're shopping. Let's say they're shopping, a DXB, LHR, London flight. We have multiple flights, obviously, multiple offers to put in. There are some flights that are, that have a load factor that's much higher than others. So we know that there's availability on certain flights. So basically, we put an offer on flights. We call this a switch sell. So basically, we want to switch you from maybe a flight in the morning to a flight a little later in the day that has a bit more capacity for us, or a bit more availability for us. On top of that, we have what we call an upselling. So we may put the offer on the higher fare, for example. So you're buying a saver, but we put an offer in the form of additional miles, or in the form of a better cash plus miles rate. So we do the switch sell, we do the upsell. And most importantly, this offer converts you during that session. Skywards members convert 4 times more than non-Skywards members when they're buying online. And some of these, what they call, really sales tactics, help. Now, everybody is happy at the end because the member gets something out of this. We're happy because we're filling certain flights. We're also getting a higher revenue from the member. But the member also is getting either, for example, a reduced upgrade, or he's getting additional miles, or he's getting a better cash plus miles race to convert, their miles on the flight.
Perfect. Now, Dr. Nejib, you mentioned very interesting thing and few times about the partners and the ecosystem that you have built. Tell us how important it has been, now, because it creates a lot of touch points and a lot of experience. So tell us about the ecosystem that you have built, the partners, and how it has changed the whole journey of the members.
Extremely important, Brad. So just think about it. It's for us really to go from being a frequent flyer program to becoming a lifestyle program. We had to rely on partners in other domains. So extending from flying into travel, I've got all the hotel partners, car rental partners, etc. I would also include Dubai Duty Free, for example, as another partner that we have. And taking it to the live better into the lifestyle category as well. So you've got there all the retailers that we have as partners. For example, Skywards Miles Mall, where we have a lot of e-commerce partners as well, across 5 geographies: US, UK, India, Australia, and the UAE. Actually, let me go back to the US, UK, because it's very important. Our largest member base, and it's twice as large as our UAE base. And this makes us a bit different from what you see in the US, where you have a big home market as well. So you have very large loyalty programs around airlines with the 3 major carriers. But most of their travel is done in their home base, right? Like domestically. We don't have that, right? Like our largest base is actually in the US and the UK.
Wow.
And it's twice as big as our base here in the UAE. Just mentioning the top 5 markets that have more than 1 million members. We have Germany as well as a large market for us. India, of course, and Australia. So India and Australia is around 2 million, and Germany is about 1 million. And after that, we also have a very big base in Saudi Arabia and a big one in South Africa. So we're covering all these continents. And we couldn't be relevant if we didn't have partners in these geographies that help us extend our offering. You take the UK, Bicester Village, on the retail side, Skywards Miles Mall, EasyJet, for example, for redemption partners, that helps us. In the US, we have United. If you extend to North America, Air Canada as well. If you extend to the Americas, Azul, GOL as well in South America. But in the US, we took a bold step and launched a co-brand credit card. Now you can see that here in the UAE, it makes total sense.
Yeah.
We have 7 banks we work with, multiple co-brand credit cards that are offered in the market, and nearly 2/3 of our members are on the premium side are actually have those credit cards. So you can see the level of engagement, and it's well understood here, and we don't have to do a lot of selling. I think it's natural for people that are engaging with the airlines to be able to take on these cards. In the US, it was a bold move because in the US we're facing of course the 3 giants in the US who have also good offering from a financial partnership perspective. But we took the bold step, and one of the very few international airlines to do so, to have our own co-brand credit cards in the US, and we have extremely good engagement there. Not so much about having a huge volume of members, but we have very good quality of members, and people who have started engaging more with the airline and who are spending more on the airline, etc., because they're incentivized to do so. So partners are extremely important if you really want to be in that lifestyle category, and creating a proper ecosystem with like-minded partners is extremely important as well. So it's interesting. Skywards Every Day is the other platform where we have more than 250 partners now here in the UAE that are on the platform, and we just launched co-op, union co-op, in here in the UAE, which is again had a lot of buzz. But it's again, it's grocery shopping, swiping your card, getting the miles.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Thank you, Dr. Nejib. It's very interesting to hear the whole story. Now, definitely, airline industry, and we all had a lot of disruption in recent times, and COVID was one of them. How did you navigate those challenges, and how loyalty played at that time?
I always say that loyalty is won or lost in these moments of truth. So we always talk about rewarding, we talk about delighting the customers, talk about Skywards exclusives, creating these experiences. But at the end, if you do not really cater to your members, and in moments where they need you most, to remove that anxiety away from them, is when you will lose or win their loyalty. So you take COVID. We've done a lot during COVID in terms of extending people's tiers, not making the miles expire, continuing to engage with members while they were not flying. So people who have that credit cards or engaging through the Skywards Everyday platform were earning miles. So we continued to have this interaction with our members. But also we relieved them from that anxiety around status and miles as well, and continue to help them actually enrich their kitty in terms of their miles wealth. But we faced another challenging situation with the disruptions that we had here in Dubai, unprecedented weather. That you could have the best planning in place. At the end, you're faced with an act of God, which is very, very, very difficult to manage in some way. But we I acknowledge it was a very humbling situation that we learned from. But at the same time, we've done few things, and the testimonials that come from our members on how we took care of them was actually something that helps us keep people also engaged with the program and feeling that we have supported them through the crisis.
Perfect. Dr. Najib, social responsibility is a crucial topic, for every industry in aviation as well. How does Emirates Skywards contribute to it?
Yeah, so it's interesting. The airline takes this very, very seriously. And I will take the examples of the Emirates Airline Foundation. We're very passionate within the airline in terms of supporting certain initiatives, mostly around children in places like, you know, Bangladesh, in Africa, and other places where they need help. So we have few of these initiatives, and our members are extremely generous in terms of giving their miles so that we can fly doctors and other medical specialists to these locations to help with some of these initiatives as well. So, Skywards offers a possibility for members to redeem their miles in support of the Emirates Airline Foundation, and we really are. It's heartwarming to see the level of generosity we get from our members. So that's one of the things I think. This is not specific to Skywards, but the airline does a lot on the sustainability side, whether it's the investment in sustainable aviation fuel, whether it is about consuming responsibly, or it is about reducing our emissions. We're one of the leading airlines when it come of this. We don't talk a lot about it. We don't like this whole greenwashing part. We actually just act responsibly. The other piece that the airline is really invested in is protecting habitats and the wildlife as well, protecting wildlife as well. Where it matters. So. You don't see us speak a lot about it, but we do a lot. And from a Skywards perspective, we again amplify what the airline does or support what the airline does.
Mm-hmm. And now, Dr. Najib, when you're running a very successful loyalty program, how the loyalty programs can be useful for different industries apart from airline, and what benefit it can do, and some of the industries which you think it can be very helpful for them.
Yeah, Abrar, I just came out of a loyalty conference that was held for the first time in Dubai, which brought loyalty practitioners from around the world, but also loyalty practitioners across industries. Mm-hmm. We in the airline industry, we've really we're at the forefront in terms of starting these loyalty programs. I mean, started first with my former employer, American Airlines, in 1981. That's when the first FFP program was put in place, frequent flyer program, and we kind of set the tone when it comes to loyalty. But I have to say that spending 2 days at the Loyalty Connect conference, it was a very humbling experience as well. So, the airlines also can learn from retailers, for example, and what they're doing. But there's a lot of common points in terms of what all these industries do. We're all focused on retention of the customers. We're all focused on acquisition and engagement, and much more engagement now and activation than acquisition for the purpose of just acquisition. And it's amazing to see what others are doing. I think there's a big focus on digital. And again, effectively engaging with customers in the digital channels, something similar to what I've talked about from a Skywards perspective, but you can see how retailers are doing it, and they're doing it in a more frequent way than we are doing it as well. And then there is this whole, again, convergence of what I call loyalty and payment as well. So, a lot of these loyalty programs are now creating digital payments or e-wallets as well. So it's interesting to see all of this. So I think there is a convergence on all these loyalty programs doing a bit learning from each other's and using loyalty as a way to amplify what brands do, and to show bring some authenticity into the brand purpose in some way through the actions they are taking with their members and loyal members, etc. They're all creating tiers now, which is something they've learned from the airlines, because we were the first also to create these tiers, but now they're creating those tiers and differentiating the experience based on tiers. This includes, what I've found, for example, with one of the most successful programs here in the UAE, Share. I talk about it because the person who's in charge of Share and who has taken the program to new heights in the last 5 years. We call her the mother of Skywards because she's the one who started the Skywards program. But they've done a phenomenal job there as well, and congratulations to them. As well for being so successful. But we're all, my point is that we're really learning from each other, and there are elements that I am now incorporating in the way we do things that we have learned from other industries. I'll take one example from a Skywards perspective. We were the first airline program to launch a subscription program. Mm-hmm. It's called Skywards Plus, with 3 different packages that we offer our members. Excellent engagement from members, but obviously we took that from retail, and then we've used something very similar to what retail does. Of course, we have done a lot of tests and learn to be able to put the right package in front of our members. But that's something we've learned from retail, and that we have transported. So I think, if anything, I would just say that we need to listen to what others do. And not be so much focused on our own industry. I think we're sharing a lot the same customers with the same needs. Of course, these needs to be supported and delivered through different schemes, because we're different industries. But we're all in the same shape. We're all trying to use the data in the best way possible. We are starting to engage with these customers in the right channels. I mean, the other piece that I think is important for me, that no program that I've seen in the past 2 days present talked about being just self-centered and doing their own thing. They're all talked about coalitions. They're all talked about working with an ecosystem of partners. They all talked about how do they become more relevant by actually working with and generally working with partners. So the word partner really means something. It's not just transactional. There's much more about it for the customer. And they all talked about one thing. At the end, we exist because of the customer. Mm-hmm. And therefore, there is sometimes this whole thinking that, loyalty programs could be businesses on their own, generating so much profit. That is not really what I've heard. I've heard people committed to really catering to their customers, to their members, understanding their customers, and being able to, cater to their customers in the best way possible.
Mm-hmm. Dr. Najib, you mentioned convergence of payment, loyalty programs, and other things. How do you see the customer-centric marketing converging with loyalty, and do you see kind of they can benefit each other, or how do you see it?
Yeah, so I've mentioned one example which I will take back just to be very. I was just give an example on how this conversion is helping. This is the in-path shopping that I've talked about, and putting incentives in front of the customers in real time, in a very dynamic way, very personalized way while they are shopping. So moving away from email, moving away from other ways of communicating with them with the members, but meeting the members where we need to meet them, and in this case, meeting them when they actually have expressed an interest in shopping with us, and trying to convert them in the sessions. This is use of data. This is, again, you could think of it as marketing, but it is much more of a very personalized way to engage with members and to convert them, rather than trying to blast emails to them. And then even when we talk about emails and campaigns, etc., and I took the example of Miles Retailing, it's be able to push these offers in a very relevant way, and not do it in a blast way, where you annoy your customers and you start having unsubscription. So we have a very good open rate because of the fact that we have this type of personalization that we put in place.
Perfect.
Working with our corporate communication, marketing, and brand colleagues.
Dr. Najib, my last question. What's next for Nejib Ben Khedher, and what are you most excited about at Emirates Skywards? What are the new innovations, and what keeps you kind of motivated?
Yeah, so the old Nejib Ben Khedher would have said that I've never stayed in a job more than I would say 5 years, and these are all, as I mentioned, transformation jobs, right? And I have taken either turnaround or transformation jobs. Turnarounds around 3 years, transformation 5 years. This is where you get the transformation working, and then you leave it to a team to go, continue to implement in business as usual. So I always looked for a new challenge to take on. Interestingly enough, the longest tenure I have is with Skywards. So I've been with Skywards since late 2015, as I mentioned. So it's been more than 8 years now. Of course, we had a couple of years COVID, so that in itself is a transformation. So that kept me awake in some way, because we needed to find ways again to interact with our members while we were not flying. Of course, it was not the 2 years. We were one of the first airlines to operate very quickly, and Dubai was one of the first cities to open, so that helped a lot. But still, it's a change in its own. So I keep on challenging the team. We keep on trying to just move the bar higher, and we have a number of things in plan for us. So I find a new way to keep myself energized, and that is to create a transformation, a rolling transformation, if you will. So it's a never-ending one, and the team is going to be worn out at some point of time. They'll throw me out probably, but I am as long as I'm passionate about what I'm doing, and I find this area fascinating for somebody who has my background, at least educational background, and I'm going to continue to do what I need to do best, and lead the teams, and towards more achievements and excellence. We're just got recognized as a global loyalty program of the year at the conference this week. I myself got recognized as the global loyalty leader of the year as well. So I'm really proud of these achievements and the recognition, and that of course keeps us going and wanting to do more.
Yeah, Dr. Najib, first, congratulations on your achievement, on the award. It's really a pleasure to talk to you with someone who's running one of the most successful loyalty program with a very large and successful airline. So pleasure to talk to you, and thank you very much for coming, Dr. Najib.
Thank you, Abrar, and I want to thank also our members as well for they're the ones that continue to challenge us, and they're the ones who keep on pushing us towards excellence. Thank you.
Thank you.